Today we're building a houseboat because it's so hot right now where I live that I just wish I could jump into the water. And if I was living on a houseboat, I could do that whenever I wanted by just stepping outside my front door. Now imagine all that right inside a lush overgrown jungle with chirping birds and whispering leaves. Well, I can't be there in real life, but I can build it in Minecraft. So let's get started. Right at this spot, I want to build my houseboat. There's just one tiny little baby problem. Well, it's a little slim, isn't it? I don't think a houseboat would fit through here. And my plan is that the houseboat is gonna be at least 7 blocks wide. So I decided to extend the lake into at least this direction a lot. I might also extend it in this direction a bit. But I'm gonna make it here, then it's closer to the cliffside and we have some awesome waterfalls to look at. Ooh. So the first thing we're gonna do, terraform. We need to get rid of all of the terrain here. So an easy way to do it, possibly a very chaotic way to do it. Watch me do that. Wait, actually, let me build up a little. /set air. That's plenty of space for a lake, if I can say so. First of all, I don't think it's a terrible idea to start using world edit to make a general shape of the lake. This is something that I'm gonna get rid of anyways, and then I need to go a little slimmer the further we go over here. Maybe that much? This looks chaotic. So at first I made a very rough shape using world edit by blocking out everything with squares. So now that this looks all blocky, just like the Minecraft movie, I do really get some Minecraft movie vibes from this. Wait, why is there a bat? Now that we got this, I kind of tried to make a natural looking terrain. Yeah, very natural. Just by the rough shape of it, you know? So now, to make sure it looks good from close up, I'm just gonna go in and round it all up by punching my fists into these pieces of stone. So let's smoothen it up. And now that everything is smoothed out, we can go ahead and texture because yeah, it's just stowed. I just want to go ahead and decorate a little bit with moss whenever like the sun hits the surface, like when it's like at the top of a block. Down below we have stone and andesite, a little bit textured. And when we want to go from the moss over to the stone, we're gonna use mossy cobblestone because I think that gives a very nice transition. And under the water, I'm gonna do patches, like these patches here, and yeah, I'm just gonna do the same over here with sand, dirt, and moss. Let's go. We're terraformed and colored. Wee. But as you see, the river still is in 2 different shades of blue. And if you know me, I don't really like the dark blue water. I prefer this because it's my favorite color, if you can tell. So to change it, there is an easy command I can use. Fill biome or motion. Ooh. Let's just grab my paintbrush and paint the water. Now that we transformed all of it into a warm motion, it looks so much more tropical. It still kind of looks plain, like it does not look very jungly anymore here on these cliff sides. It just looks dead. So to fix the deadness, I want to add some custom trees. I would just add some leaves to it. So I'm using a mixture between jungle and mangrove leaves. For the design itself, I used some fences, other stairs, and to make it longer, I used some trapdoors to connect it in between, and I used some oak wood because jungle does not really go well with any type of trapdoors and stairs, so I decided to go with oak wood. So let's just place some leaves. Very important for these is I want to leave a lot of air spaces in between, so I'm not gonna place leaf on leaf. I'm gonna place them floating around because then the tree looks more fluffy and less overwhelming with too much leaves. I just made 2 custom trees for the area. This is the cute and tiny one, and this is the big one. That took me ages, goodness. I placed all of these leaves by hand, floating around in the air, as you can see. Send help. If there is a way that you can place them with a command, and I didn't know about it, well, let's just not think about it. So I just removed all of the trees. to be able to paste all of the trees onto the island now. What a sight to behold! Burn this sight into your mind, because it will soon be changed forever. I replaced all of the trees, and this is the other side. And this is the forest. And yes, the floor is still quite empty. So what we're gonna do to fix that is we're gonna build some little plants. And the first idea I had, let's go over to the training and pasting spot, I call this. So for the first idea I had, I wanna use some azalea. And I'm gonna do something like palm tree leaves, but as a plant that goes on the floor. But also maybe eventually we're gonna add a couple palm trees, because why not? So I designed these two babies. Over here we have a bigger one, like a palm tree, and over here we have a smaller one. Let me just paste them around the place and show you what it looks like. It already looks so nice. To make these look more like palm trees, I added, like, some of them look like palm trees, some of them are just plants on the floor. And for these I added some cocoa beans for coconuts. So now I want to decorate with some yellow flowers, and I had the idea of also using some coral. Well, they die, you know, they die, so keep them yellow and happy. I'm just gonna put them here. And I don't quite know if I want to use sunflowers because they only face one direction. I also want to decorate with some drip leaf and some fern. I do love fern. And there's one last thing I'd love to add to the landscaping over there is these little banana trees that I made. And to copy them, I'm just gonna click on this leaf. I'm just gonna click on the floor, / copy, paste them in the air, because that happens. I don't want to copy everything around it. / copy. And we get some banana trees. So now that that's done, I added a little piece of lock in the water. And the last thing I'm gonna do is add a little bit of foam to the water, a little green. And then since in the jungle there's a lot of these kind of plants, like the drip leaf, I'm just gonna add a couple of these around. Oh yeah, and there's one thing I forgot. Well, the underwater world is still quite dead, besides squids. I don't know, squids are just very common. I'm just gonna spread some bone meal, add some kelp, and maybe a couple drip leaf on the moss, because it's cute. So now that the river is fully finished, we're gonna build the point of the video, the houseboat. So let's just build up. And I'd say we're gonna start with some spruce. My idea was to texture with acacia, terracotta, and jungle, like so. Because I do like the vibrant vibe of it, been orange. But first I'm gonna make the floor spruce. So we're gonna make it 7 blocks wide. So the question is, where do we want it to stop? The river is wide enough to fit in such a houseboat. And that's 7 blocks wide, but I might want it to be longer. I'm gonna add like a little bit of a peak. Oh wait, that's not 7 blocks wide. What am I doing? It's 8 blocks wide. I mean, we could make it 9 blocks wide, but is that too big then? Why not? Then we have more space for the interior and details. That could be the front, a little rounded off. So let's just build some walls first without thinking about the... No way, I have to think about the windows for some reason. One thing I know for sure is that I want to frame them with bamboo. And now I can tell you guys where I even got the idea of this. I had a dream once of a houseboat going through a jungle. Not just a jungle, my jungle in Royal Realms, where I ported this world from. And I was in this boat with a few friends of mine from the server. So we were going on a little adventure. And it was super fun, and the place actually looks quite like this, especially when I turn on shaders. And the boat too. I like how the boat turned out. Josie, you like how the boat turned out? This boat? I think I might want to frame these like this. We might want to make it longer. Yeah, I think that's a good length. And then I want to texture with this, with the terracotta as a blending block. And also some of the planks because they're even more orange. Yeah, I think that's quite cool. The windows that I thought of were actually wider. And we have to make this part a little shorter because the windows were 3 blocks wide. Also in between the windows I wanted to do a little bit of this. So for the window designs I had the idea of placing a trapdoor here. And then scaffolding. Scaffolding on top, going to the sides. I cannot get rid of this because then it breaks. And behind the windows, I want to add some green glass. I already love it so far. So to texture these pillars here, I would like to add some oak wood. And for the front here, I want to fill in everything with glass. And I want to add something in the middle, like an entrance. I think maybe I'll make it with bamboo. A little door. We're gonna design something good. Maybe we have to look how it all comes together and then decide. At the back, I would just texture it like I did on the sides. Maybe a tiny window? Like this? Is that cute? What if I frame this as well? And then I pop in the glass. I would add something to the back anyways, like an extra layer. And then I would definitely add some trapdoors to the sides and flip them so they just give a little more depth. And some stairs to help with the shape. And then over here we want to add... that would be cute, I think. That would be cute. Right now I'm actually thinking I want to bring this whole boat up one block with a little bit of world editing magic. / paste. I didn't include the bottom. I can just do that. So now that I moved it up under this, I want to make slabs. And then I noticed that on some of the references that I found, there were these rings hanging down. So I thought, why not just add some rings here? I don't know what the purpose of them is, but I think they look quite cool. And they add a little bit more of something different to the bottom here, because that could be very repetitive. I think also to break things up, I could texture with some of these in between. So not the front. Most of them don't really go up that much, so maybe I go down a slab here. I think that works for the front. And then we definitely need to get a way to get in, so I would make it here. And maybe use a trapdoor, like on the outside, so you can open it up to get up. You step on here, you get in, and then you can close it as a door. It just looks weird color-wise, so maybe I just... Still weird, doesn't it? If I do 2 of them? I don't know, I keep it for now. So for the top of the thing, I think we're just gonna top it off with these, kind of square shaped. I'm just wondering if I want to put it out 1 block, because that looks a little flat. It's definitely more than 7 blocks wide now. It's actually technically more than 8 blocks wide. That's definitely better. So I was thinking about one last more spice of color for the roof, just to add like an extra slab on top. I was thinking mangrove first. I actually like that a lot. The question is if acacia slabs look better, but I think I prefer the mangrove. Yep. I like this color combination. It's just warm. Warm makes it feel cozy, I feel like. Another extra detail I would want to add is actually I'm placing these trapdoors back so I can add some yellow framing for the windows, for the bottom of the windows. And then I also want to pop in a little more yellow at the top here under the roof. Could be too much. Maybe I add some orange instead. Actually, that's better. I think the yellow just stays where the windows are and does not spread further. So now there's just this thing that, I don't know, I feel like the frame here, like, it seems a little random to me. So maybe I just move it to the sides instead. Actually, yes. Let's add stairs here. I don't like how the door looks now. It's just out of place. This looks like a face. Yeah. I think that's the best I've came up with yet so far. I do feel like the build is lacking a bit of depth here. I don't know if it's a smart idea to add stairs like the idea I just had is adding stairs like this. Yeah, and I still don't hate these entrances. Maybe you guys hate it, but I don't. I just got the idea of decorating with signs and adding them here for a little bit of extra texture. I do like that. And then to plantify the place, I want to add a lot of flower pots to make this place feel lived in and cozy. How about some on the roof? I think that's cute. A couple ones on the roof. I like that. So now to be able to control this little baby, I found a picture on Google that showed me a design that looks like this. That looks like a wheel you can control. If I ever saw one. You can also place stuff here, technically. That's the control panels. Or should we make it out of stone? I don't know why it's an old block. I think that looks better. That looks more like it makes sense. But maybe we need some interior. So first of all, we need to think about what kind of rooms do we need to survive in a houseboat. I think we need a bathroom. We also need a kitchen to be able to eat. And we also need somewhere to sleep. I think the kitchen shall be in the entrance area. And then if we want to go to the toilet, we might have to block this off a little. Toilet area, this size. Bedroom area, this size. So now that we have these rooms, they look like this from the inside. I want to place some lanterns on the ceiling just to have some light. So what are we going to start with? Doing some kitchen. I think a smoker would fit in really nicely into this corner. with a little hopper on top to take away the steaminess, and some barrels to like have some storage. I think some item frames would be cool. And then we could add some, I don't know, maybe these. And then signs. They look like shelves. So we could just store stuff here. It's not really a place you're able to work on, so I would place some to the edges, and then we can have some trapdoors to work on, and we can, oh yeah, that's practical. You can flip them in from our space and flip them out for a working area, because like if you're camping or something like this, you have like these flippable things, and I think some shutters would be quite nice, and you can also turn them away if you want more sunlight. Oh yeah, we need a sink. I think a cauldron would make most sense. We can just place a trapdoor on it, make it look more fitting. I would like to put in some water. It's even in the color of the biome. That's so cool. Looks all lived in and awesome. I was thinking, this now does not look like a stream of water, but I'm pretty sure the debug stick can handle it. Yes. It's not really lining up though. Oh my god, that's cool. I saw that in a video before. I forgot the YouTuber's name. It's been a while, but I saw that in a video. Yeah, let's make a chopping board. Does not look like a knife. Maybe a stone so it doesn't look more like a knife. And a bamboo pressure plate. Yes, a bamboo chopping board. Then a pot here, a pot there. Bamboo and... Mein kleiner grüner Kaktus steht draußen vorm Balkon. Hollari, hollaro, hollaro. So on the other side, we want to be able to eat what we prepared here. And we can sit here. Mangrove instead. Some leaning. Cozy seats. Yeah, that's a sitting mod, by the way. Maybe I don't even want this scaffolding. Maybe I just want this, because then I can place stuff on top there everywhere. Item frame, flower pot, dandelion, cod. Because I feel like you most likely get some good food by fishing. And makes sense. Man, now I want to build that in survival and live in survival in this house. Let's just add a couple more shelves here so we have some more storage. Now the last little thing I'm wondering about is that corner. What can we put in that corner? How about that? It's the 3D model I made with Blockbench for my custom resource pack that also gives me these fancy schmancy wings. So if I just shear this, that's a plugin by the way, that's a plugin that I added to this world, where you can shear item frames. I see an empty wall, I want painting. That's a nice size. Ooh, and it's a nice color, but it kind of feels sad. I'm crying in this corner. Maybe a little carpet's still missing, huh? How about this? So, let's move on to... let's say a bathroom. Was will ich rote Rosen? Was will ich weißen Mond? Hollari, hollaro, hollara. I always loved these bamboo, like the top of it as tiles. So this is the area for the shower. And then we can just add a lever. Some water dripping down. We can fix it. Fixed. It also fills us with water. Then we want a sink and a toilet. We can have some shelves here. We want to add that and that. Maybe we move the sink a little bit further to the side. And maybe the barrel is sideways this time. We can also add them to the top here. And to not do the same all the time, we're just gonna add a tripwire hook here. Something to flush the toilet. Some greenery. And I like that the window is kind of at the place of a mirror. And a painting. Oh, cute. I think it feels homey. So last but not least, the moment we've all been waiting for, definitely. We've been waiting for this, okay? The bedroom! In a tiny little home like this, would be probably the most practical to have a bunk bed. I don't know, all I'm thinking of is bunk beds in this. Does that function with a ladder? I mean, technically, the scaffolding is a ladder. You asked for the carpet? Wait, you didn't ask for a carpet? I'm giving you a carpet anyways. So this could be a desk. Well, if this is a desk, then this can't be. I'd say this has to be the way up cozy little soft chair. Let's just pretend these things are little shelves. A painting on the wall. Why is it always a skeleton? I think it's a beach. Let's just do a lectern here with a book and quill. And you can read with an exotic flower. That's cozy. I love it. The build is done. And now that we're done with the build, before you guys go off and build your own stuff or whatever you're gonna do, just enjoy the montage of the place and how it all looks in shaders. I absolutely love how it turned out. It's exactly how I dreamed it, and I thought it's impossible because I can barely remember my dreams. And if I inspired you to build your own houseboat in Minecraft, please share it with me. I'd love to see it. If you want, I have a channel on my Discord server for you to post images of your builds so we can all inspire each other. Now all that's left for me to say is I hope you have a great day and you can find some shade or an iced cherry chai to survive the heat.